I think he's the one horse, unfortunately, that of the whole meeting, I don't want to win.
No. Hello and welcome back to the Let's Talk Racing YouTube channel in association with Racing TV. You're watching episode 2 of the day-by-day Cheltenham Festival previews, and this is the Wednesday. We hope you enjoyed episode 1. We do this every single year, 4 videos, the 4 days in the week prior, before the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, previewing the following Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully at this point we're back to 7 winners and we're flying into the Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be feeling fantastic. I'll be, trying to find a wheelbarrow for my Ballymore winnings. Embassy Gardens will have gotten me out in the last. I'll have had a great night. I'll be waltzing up to the Arkle bar for a snifter at around 11:30, meeting a few people.
Snifter or a sifter?
Well, snifter.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Little small bit of alcohol.
I must have been saying the wrong thing my whole life.
You called it a sifter?
I don't know. No, what's a sifter? I'm getting confused here.
A snifter is just like another word for an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, I don't know. Moving on. I agree. Hopefully we're both flowing in cash at that point. It won't be Ballymore, just to let you know. Now, moving on to the Wednesday. If you do enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is going to be your last opportunity to come to the preview night, which will be tomorrow night in Birmingham on Thursday. I think it starts at 7. All the details are in the first line of the description. Please do come along if you're in the area. It'll be a brilliant night, and we're going to have a big chat with everyone about the Cheltenham Festival. Hopefully find a few winners, a good panel put together as well by organisers. Really looking forward to that. But we're also on the way to 20,000 subscribers on the channel. It'll be a massive, massive achievement for us if we can do that, and we're going to try and do it at the Cheltenham Festival. You can help. It's free. It takes 2 seconds to do. Just hit that subscribe button down below. It massively, massively helps us out. Right, let's get cracking.
Let's.
Wednesday.
Yes.
First race.
Birmingham.
Bingham.
You were about to say Ballymore.
Ballymore Neptune. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Son-in-law third.
This is going to be similar to our Supreme
very similar.
novice hurdle preview. If Ballyburn runs, does he win?
Yes.
I agree. If he doesn't, where'd you go?
Probably Mystical Power again. I'm incredibly sweet on those 2 horses. I think those 2 horses are set above the rest, personally. I quite like, actually, I think a horse, I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to back him, but I think a horse that I will take from the race is Handstands. I think he could run a huge race for Ben Pauling at 12-14 to 1. I've really liked the way he's done it in his few starts. It was impressive in the Sydney Banks. I have deep-rooted concerns about Il Atlantique.
Oh, I agree. He won't.
At Cheltenham.
No, I don't think he'll be winning.
I don't have deep-rooted concerns about Sladestick.
Come on!
I think he will run well. I think he'll be in the 3.
Yeah.
I think he's susceptible if either of the ones at the top are very, very good. Yeah. I think he will be beat.
I don't think he'll reverse the form of Ballyburn. I think he could beat Mystical Power.
He potentially could, yeah.
I think 2 miles isn't his best trip, and he ran a great race. I think he's only going to get better for going up.
Yes.
I really like Slave Steel if Ballyburn doesn't run. I'm going to make him my nap of the Tuesday if Ballyburn doesn't run. Even if Mystical Power does.
He's not even running on the Tuesday.
Sorry, on the Wednesday. That's what, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm making my nap of the Wednesday if he was to run. I really like him. I think he's got class. I think he stays, and I think he's got speed.
Do you reckon Reed and Tommy Wrong goes for the longer race?
I do, yeah.
Would you give him a chance in the longer race?
I would, yeah. I would. Ballyburn if he runs. If he doesn't, Slade Steel. Ballyburn if he runs. If he doesn't, Mystical Power.
Correct.
There we go. Moving on to the Brown Advisory. Factor File running here. Why is he running here? Be a certainty in the 2.5 mile race. Maybe he's a certainty here. The second favourite is Stay Away Fame, Monty Star. I actually think that he's the best priced horse at this year's Cheltenham Festival.
You are an absolute wind-up merchant of the highest order.
I think not. Why is he not even money?
I don't know either, to be honest. He's such a rick. Yeah. Beating 3-card Bragg a few lengths apparently means you're an absolute rick.
I think he's a really good price. What do you think?
Yeah, no, he looks a really good price, mate. You know the way you were saying to me with Ballymore?
Yeah.
Would I back him if he wasn't trained by Paul Nolan?
Yeah.
Is there any way Monty Star on pure form alone is 9-2 if he's not wearing Manila Indo's colours?
I don't know.
Just doesn't happen.
So I'm going to side with Stay Away Fee. I'm going to take on Factor Foul. Yes, he was brilliant at Leopardstown. Yes, it was a 2-runner race. There's all those arguments, but I just don't like the fact that he's had 3 runs over fences and he's running in a Brown advisory. I think he'd absolutely gag up in the 2.5 mile race. But the extra half a furlong, well, the extra 4 furlongs and a half, I think are really going to be interesting. Stay Away Fee is the Bartlett form from last year. He's run against open graded company on his previous start. He's been very good this season, and I just think that he's the most solid, and he's like 5-2, 3-1, where there's Factor Files 4-5. I can't be backing him at that price, considering how good Stay Away Fee is. I think Grey Dawning's interesting if he goes to the Turners or he comes here. I think he's a player in both, and I would say that maybe a 5-1 price reflects that. I'd agree. I take on Monty Star. Are we possibly missing anyone?
Well, if you look down long enough, if you keep scrolling, you might find one in there that I have backed in the Anti-Post series.
I'm sorry, I'm keeping I'll get there 1 minute.
There surely can't be that many entries.
Who's that?
That would be Xander Clegane.
Okay. Chance?
He'd have a chance of coming third, I suspect. I'm very realistic about his chances in terms of not much of a winning
Is the
chance.
each-way double Palamon and Sandlock again at this year's Cheltenham Festival?
Yes. Remember the year, though, that HMS Seahorse and Mrs. Milner both placed, and that was the each-way double that year.
It must have been.
This is a Rick.
It's a certainty.
I'm with you. I'll be backing Stay Away Fee in this race. I've liked him all year. I just like the way he goes about it, to be honest. I think that run in open company as well will really stand to him when it comes down to back into novice company. He'll be a man for it. He's got a bit of Cheltenham chase form in the bag now as well, which I think is no bad thing. Factor File, I just agree. There's just something nagging me. And if I was to back anything to come third, it would be Xander.
The Coral Cup comes next, or the Coral Lottery. Langer Dan is favourite. I love the way they've campaigned this.
I do too. And I just know as well, Josh, that you really want Langer Dan to win this race as a strike for integrity.
It's a strike for integrity. I love the fact that he's come here off the back
6P90.
6P90.
Those are my 4 favourite letters and numbers.
He comes into the race in top form.
Rude health.
This is the perfect trip for him. Been the plan all along. I can't wait for him to go and win this one more time, and everyone's going to have it on.
Yeah.
Really, that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen.
I think he's the one horse, unfortunately, that of the whole meeting, I don't want to win. Is this horse.
Do you know sometimes when you come up the running, and we were talking about it in videos where a horse is going to be a bit quirky, and Abracadabra maybe jumped into the rail. Yeah. Obviously, you want all horses to complete, but if one had to jump into the rail, and obviously it was fine, health was fine, I would love it to be this horse, 10 lengths clear.
I think more so I would love what happened in the Martin Pipe a few years ago, where he gets a soft brought down at the first or something completely to just go.
I want him to be finishing second, 50 lengths clear of the third, but bump into a Grade 1 horse, and just Dan Skelton played at his own game.
Yeah, that would be quality.
It would be great. Sal Majesty's in their second favourite. I really, really, really like Doddy the Great if he runs, but is he going to get in off 132? I think in the majority of the recent Coral Cups he wouldn't. If he does, I think in last year's he would have. If he does,
have a huge chance.
I think he's got a massive, massive chance. I think he's a proper top-class stayer. He was plagued by injury. He was off the track for 746 days, but he's been very good since. He's won at Ascot. He went very close behind Godante at Cheltenham over 2 mile 1. And the Betfair Hurdle at Newbury was staying on so eye-catching into 4th. And I do think that with the form over 2.5 at Kempton as a novice, the Coral Cup I think it's genuinely perfect for him. I think he's a much better horse than 132 suggests, and I just hope he gets in. If he does, he would be a very strong bet for me on the Wednesday.
If he gets in, he goes off Fav.
I agree. I completely agree. Do you fancy him if he was to get in?
I would. I think he's very interesting. I'd be very sceptical that he will, though, or not. Not a race I've got a major play in, to be honest. Coral Cup is a race that has done no favours for me in the past. I thought, in terms of bigger prices, it's a race that sometimes suits like kind of more exposed horses that have come down from graded company near the top of the weights. Commander Fleet, one at Ashdale Bob's, ran well in it. Even last year there was a few more exposed horses in the play. with that in mind, I'd give a small squeak to Beacon Edge at 40-1. I think he's probably a little bit overpriced, but it certainly wouldn't be the strongest I've come up with.
The champion chase.
Yeah.
El Fabiolo, John Bon, Edward Stone. Is this simply a walk in the park for El Fabiolo?
Well, nothing in the champion chase is ever a walk in the park, but at the same time, he should win. I think he'll win, and he'll win well. I think he's just the best horse.
Talking of walk in the park, John Bon is his second.
That was one of your best segues of the season.
Second favourite in there, but after coming off the loss in the Clarence House, the arranged Clarence House to Alexia de Nuts.
Uninspiring.
Nico's got to be on him.
He will be, though.
He will. And he has to jump flawlessly to have any chance. If he makes 2 or 3 mistakes, El Fabiolo's not shy from making a mistake, but he has to be absolutely perfect.
Did you see that video they put up the other day of him schooling?
No.
There was one that I think our like rivals in crime at the races put up, saying, great to be here.
Don't mention
at
that.
Nicky Henderson, John Bon looking in rude health, jumping 2 fences. He went in and absolutely smacked the roots of one. He made a horrible shape.
Yeah, he's not a great jumper, is he? He isn't.
Well,
he isn't. Edward Stone in there. Is he a player at all? Change of tactics the last day at Newbury in the game spirit. Went from the front, jumped for fun, went his own gallop. Cannon was brilliant on him.
I think, he has to do that. He has to try to do that.
Yeah.
He's got a chance of maybe, I think he's got a chance of potentially beating John Bon, playing those tactics. And then you're hoping that his jumping might put El Fabiolo under pressure to the extent that he makes a mistake.
But you just get the impression that El Fabiolo can do it all.
Yeah, I would fear that Edward Stone will just be a sitting duck turning into the straight.
The cross country comes next. This is the best cross country ever ran. Minella Indo, Delta Work, Galvin. Like if you rolled back, conflated in there, Statler, if you rolled the clock back 3 years, this is the Gold Cup.
Yes.
You've got Cocoa Beach in there possibly as well. Maybe not all of them will run. I doubt Conflated will. Cocoa Beach might not be good enough. But you've got Galvin, Delta Work, Manila Indo who will. Does this largely depend on ground? Because I think that's where I'm going to come into it. I think Delta Work, if it's soft or worse, I think he's probably my bet. Maybe good to soft or worse. Whether if it's good to soft or quicker, Galvin, which is going to be unlikely considering it's soft now.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think Delta Work would be my bet of the Wednesday, to be honest. I'm very keen on him. Just think everything's been planned with this race in mind.
Why not Indo? Loves Cheltenham.
He does love Cheltenham, loves running well in March as well, and ran very well over the course and distance earlier on in the season under a big weight. I just like a little bit more experience, personally speaking. Delta Work's been there, done that. He's got the T-shirt. On soft ground, 3.6. He does have a couple of T-shirts in the bag.
Decent wardrobe.
Yeah, well, he doesn't half mind going there in March as well. He's won a few times. So
yeah,
it's a good race. It's a really good race. I don't really... I've a bigger fish to fry, obviously, on this video. I'm not really a massive fan of the fact that Gold Cup horses can suddenly just rock up in a cross-country. But
no.
Delta Work for me.
The Grand Annual. This is the first year in a while my nap hasn't come in the Grand Annual.
I think you've got to take that as an awful lot of, physical growth.
It is growth.
Yeah, well done, mate. I mean, it's really good. Like, it's like me, not putting up a Paul Nolan horse in the Boodles.
Do you think maybe next year we might come away from that and then you can have your moment of growth as well?
Maybe so, but I don't know what he's going to buy off the flat next year. Like, maybe there'll be a Rick in there. I don't want to miss it.
It's a good point. My mate Mozzie's favourite, Saint Roir in there, who you've talked about, Madara, Path de Reux, Harper's Brook, Safareur. A few horses that are interesting. Should we stop there or should we go one further down in the betting with Paddy Power and look at Enniskerry for Barry Connell? Have you ever backed a Barry Connell horse?
No, never. And would never either. Because it wouldn't be like me. It wouldn't be in my remit. It would need good ground. Obviously, that's looking up against it at this stage.
If it came up...
I'd have a good chance on decent ground, yeah. But he is very, very ground dependent. I would worry that Sam Wall wants a bit nicer ground as well. My mate Mozzie wants slightly nicer ground. It's a tough race. I think there's even one you like at a price that wouldn't mind slightly better ground as well. So, tough race. One I can't have. Wise guys are going to back this Moscata again in for this race, and I don't see it personally speaking. But I'd say between Samoa and Enniskerry for me if that ground is a bit better.
I have two as well. One would be less ground dependent than the other. I think the one that's definitely ground dependent is Dancing on My Own, who won at Aintree last year, won at Cheltenham in October as well. I do think that he's, if you had a spring horse, if you believe in spring horses, he is that. He also likes better ground, and I do think he's got a big chance, even off top weight, off 156. Obviously, it's going to be a big ask, but I really like the way he won in October. I think he'd have a chance. And interestingly, that form line, the horse who finished third to him in Excelsis Dio, I also think has got a big chance. He's ran 3 times this season, twice at Cheltenham. He was 2 lengths behind Dancing on My Own. He was 3 lengths behind Madara. Madara was running off 130 that day. He's now rated 143. I think he was going to go and beat Harper's Brook at Sandown before unseating at the last. Has been put up £4 for that, but I think still of 137 he's interesting. I really do, and it'd be him and Dancing on My Own is where my money's going to go.
I just patted you on the back that you've made great growth, great improvements, and then you just love these travelly JP horses in this race.
Do you think
learn, improve, find a horse that will find?
Do you think this is an Antukas 2.0 then?
Yes, because he's well handicapped. He will be travelling down the hill like an absolute dream. I just think he'll dog it. But anyway.
But he's 14, 16 to 1, and the other one's 20 to 1. I really like them both each way.
Yep,
right, the final race on the Wednesday is the Weatherby's Champion Bumper, a race which some people don't like, but I love.
Well, since when did you turn into the ground and then the Weatherby's Champion Bumper?
And they're off. Jalon Dudery 5 to 1 favourite, Jasmine Devore 11 to 2, Tishan 13 to 2, Romeo Coolio 7 to 1, the Yellow Clay 15 to 2, You Ought to Know, Argento Boy, Quebecois, Cesta Chance, Cantico, Fleur as Fazil, Mr. Megget Won't Run. There's loads in there. These are all such exciting horses for the future. Really looking forward to seeing how they all progress, as we always do. Mullins dominates it, as he always does, but he doesn't have the favourite this year, because Jalon's favourite, a horse who's solid, been there, 2 performances this season, very good. Where do we sit with this?
I think Jalon Dudery is the solid horse in the race. I think it's a hard race to get a handle on. I was saying it to you before we started tonight. The 2 best bumper horses that we've seen this year aren't running in the race.
William Money and
Jeroboam
Machan, yeah.
One for injury purposes, one because just they haven't planned him to go to a champion
Does
bumper.
that mean if William Money is the best bumper horse that we should be backing Cesta Chance, who finished second to him, a very close second, having to make the donkey work and went off 8 to 13 against him?
I'll be backing him each way, yeah.
The only thing with him is he's coming in off that run. You'd have loved him to have a run in between and gagged up somewhere.
You would have done, yeah, and you'd also have to worry whether William Money has clearly he's definitely come forward for that run, and whether Cesta Chance can do that himself. If he can, I would think he's got a decent chance. I think Jalon Dudery is just a solid horse in this. He's 5 to 1, 11 to 2. He will not be out of the 3.
No.
I just cannot see a world where he'll be out of the 3.
Ride him forward, Harry Swan on.
I think what tells you the most about this race is that Willie will run 4 or 5 in the race, and that's usually a sign that he's not actually that keen on any of them.
No.
Because it was the same last year and he got beaten in the race. Don't like Tishan myself. Coolio, slightly intrigued.
I think he's intriguing because if you ask Gordon, I'm going to run a 2-mile bumper at Kiluntra, out of all of his, who would win? I think he'd say Romeo Coolio, and comfortably.
I know, but you wake up in the middle of the night with wet dreams about what you hear from Gordon's gallops, and yet we've got a horse here that's proven it on the track. Romeo Coolio's just absolutely fell in a fairy house bumper, and yet he's still God's
gift. I still
gift.
think he is that.
The one horse that I just can't. This wise guy movement on the yellow clay does nothing for me.
No,
it does absolutely nothing for me. It's just wise guy city that people are clinging on to the fact. Oh well, he won a listed bumper last year at Limerick. Have you seen the second and third? The third train by Tony Martin was rated 102, and the second by Anthony McCann's rated 108.
All right, if you were going to go 1, 2, 3 in this, how would you play it?
Jalon to beat Cesta Chance, Coolio and eye-catching third.
I agree. That's exactly how I'd go. There we go. That is our Wednesday preview. We hope you have enjoyed. Please do have a look at the details for the preview night. Last chance to come tomorrow night. We do hope you are there. And if you do enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's free, it takes 2 seconds to do. You can do it if we want to hit 20,000 subscribers by the time the Cheltenham Festival rolls around. We've got a week to do it. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you soon.